You may be wondering why the altar boys came out with the candles in their hands. It's because we glue them in there so they don't drop them. Everybody awake? Everybody good? All right. Okay. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, Christ is in our midst. So I wanted to take a moment to speak about something different today, which are relics. In the Orthodox Church, we have one of the first relics that we have, and one of the greatest relics of the church, is the Holy Cross. And that was where Christ was crucified, obviously. And what happened with that is it was divided into small pieces because it continually was stolen. I mean, you think about it, a full-size cross is very difficult to hide, especially when you're being persecuted, when you're traveling from place to place. So what happened with the cross? Well, the cross was dismantled and broken into tiny pieces, some pieces larger than others, some little slivers about this big, and some bigger sizes. But they were distributed among the faithful, and really in churches. They were hidden in homes, they were kept inside churches, and they were put inside even altar tables in different areas for safekeeping. Now, when we look at relics in the Orthodox Church, in order to consecrate the church, so when this church was consecrated, which we have the pictures in the hallway as you walk in on the side, in order to consecrate a church, you have to have 3 martyrs that were, now martyrs are different than saints, obviously, because saints can be saints from a good life. A martyr is a person who died in defense of the faith, someone who was killed because of their Christianity. So St. Haralambos, who's right up here with the long white beard and the red vestments, is one particular martyr whose bones are in the altar table. In the back of the church, next to the ladder, just to the left of the ladder, you see a saint with brown hair, short brown hair, holding a cross, and has like a red vestment with draped over him in the center back there, next to St. Sophia with her children. That's St. Boniface. His relics are in the altar table. If you look down from St. Haralambos, you see St. Haralambos, St. Basil with the black and white vestments, and then you go down even further, you'll see like a circular area with a bunch of faces, and that's the 40 martyrs. The 40 martyrs are also within our altar table, and St. Kyrikos, who was a young boy, his relics are also inside the altar table. So, as I mentioned a while ago, I was trying to, for our 50th anniversary, trying to get relics gifted to the church. Now, getting relics is a little more difficult than just about everything else getting in the church, right? You have to have a lot of connections. You have to have people who know where the relics are. You also have to have the ability for someone to say, yes, we have these relics available for gifting. Now, what's the purpose of relics? Well, relics is we know in the church, have been a source of miracles. They've been a source of fragrance. You know, it's very interesting. A couple of you in the community who are men and even altar boys, when we change the altar tablecloth and we slide the glass off, there's glass on top. You slide the glass off and you lift the altar cloth, you get a fragrance of roses that comes straight out of the altar table. It's a beautiful fragrance, and it's always there. It's been there for years and years and years since the consecration, is this wonderful fragrance coming from the altar table. Now, relics have been a source of miracles for people who have venerated the relics. They've also, when I was in the seminary, St. Raphael and Rena Nicholas, who are the 3 right here, kind of down to the left of, with the little girl in the white dress and the deacon and the priest there. Their relics are within the church at the seminary, the Holy Cross Church. And when it was their feast day, I remember walking in and opening the door of the church and being like almost physically hit with the aroma of the relics. And the aroma of the relics was like bubble gum and and flowers and perfume all there. And I remember coming, you had to come into the church. They were all the way in the front on the side of the church. And I remember coming in and going to venerate them, and the smell coming from these relics was unbelievable. And it had overtaken the church. It didn't smell the day before, and it didn't smell the day after. It smelled on their feast day. Now, many people in Christianity have been healed by bringing the relics to someone who's ill, or venerating the relics and coming forward. I know that many times in the history of the church, and St. John Maximovich, who was all in black over there on the wall, his relics are complete. His body is complete. And many people who go to venerate his relics and go to pray over his relics have been healed. Thousands of people have been healed by him. And he is in San Francisco. The relics have even healed people in this community as well, who have been blessed with some of the small relics that we have of the 40 martyrs that are not enshrined within the altar table, and have been blessed in a little silver reliquary over them and have been healed of their diseases in this church. So for the past year, I've been saying I really want to have relics of St. Athanasios in this church. And why? Because he's our patron saint. Now, I don't know of any other churches in the area that have St. Athanasios' relics, and there's not too many churches in the United States named St. Athanasios. In fact, there's only 3. For a while, there was only 2. One in New Jersey, who happens to be shepherded by my spiritual father, and then there's another one, I believe, in Connecticut somewhere. So there's only 3 St. Athanasios churches. Now, St. Athanasios, as you know, was from the 300s and that time of the Nicene Council. And recently, after searching for many, many months and talking with different clergy overseas, here, everywhere, from hierarchs to lay people, I received an email the other day that said there is a piece of St. Athanasios' relics that will be gifted to our church at the 50th anniversary. Now, for me, that was huge. I mean, I don't get excited about much things, for those who know, but I felt like Michael Phelps after he won the gold. And I was jumping, I'm like, yes, we finally got it. And it will be, relics are never sent in the mail. They're never FedExed or UPS'd or signed here. They're always hand-delivered, which means they're brought by someone and given. So they are coming from Cyprus. And this morning, I just got the final information, the flight. So I booked the flight for the gentleman to come to bring them from Cyprus. Now, the reason I'm telling you this is because this is a very rare thing. It's a very rare gift to our church, especially on the 50th anniversary. And so this person is coming from the 15th to the 20th for the 50th anniversary, and the relics will be gifted. Now, the relics are not in a reliquary box right now. Now, how big are the relics? I've seen relics the size of, how would you say? Maybe from like a little bead? 3 inches square? Yes, they're different sizes. So relics can be very tiny, or they can be very large. This one is about half of the size of a fingernail, of like the thumbnail. So that's about the size of the relic, which is an average size for a relic. Now, the thing is, we don't have a reliquary box for that. So the reason I'm bringing this up to you is because this is what I have asked to be made for our church. It's a reliquary box, so it looks like a little church, doesn't it? Christ will be in the middle, the Virgin Mary on the side, and St. Athanasios here. And when it's opened, this is what it looks like when it's open. So this is the reliquary box that we will have. Now, the reason it's in such a beautiful case is because, number one, you don't want it to get damaged. Number two, it deserves a beautiful case for us. And then the other thing, too, that I want to do is to put some type of either table or shelf in front of St. Athanasios. And then on Sundays, when you come to church, We could put the relics out, and you can venerate the relics of St. Athanasios. It's not something we're going to keep hidden. We're going to bring it out as a blessing for you. And then after church, when everyone is dismissed, then we'll take them inside and we'll keep them safe. So this is what we have. Now, the other thing, too, is, and I know that many times priests get hammered for asking for money, but we didn't have a budget or money set aside to do this. So the ticket from Cyprus, for those who are Cypriots, you know how much that costs. It's about $1,500. We have to house this man while he's here for our feast day, and we also have to have this fashion. I've already gone ahead and done this in expectation of the blessings coming in. I can't imagine that there wouldn't be support to want to do this. So the reason I'm saying this too is because you really have to understand how rare and how beautiful this gift is to the church. Most of St. Athanasios' relics are in Egypt, and I was at the point of ready to go to Egypt to see if the Coptic Church would give us some relics. The other area where the church, where some of his relics are purportedly to be, are in Rome, at the Vatican, that they have some relics of him there. So this, I don't know the whole story yet, because as soon as I found out, I didn't ask exactly how it came through, but we will have that story for you as soon as I get it. But this is a great, great blessing for us. And it's something that is, you know, as I think about just being home and saying, we're home, right? You go home and you say, ooh, I'm home, right? You go on vacation, no matter how long your vacation is, and no matter how fun it was, you come home and you say, whew, I'm home, right? It's nice to be home. Well, I feel that way about St. Athanasios and having him home here, in this home that bears his name, in this community where we take the spiritual, and now we have the combination between the visions, the presence, the spirituality of St. Athanasios in a tangible, visible presence within our church. It's such an enormous gift to our church that I wanted to share this with you today over anything, so that you can be as excited as I am to say, yes, we are going to have the actual bone, a part of the relics of St. Athanasios within our church. And the church is consecrated, but this is a great, great blessing for us. So I will have this in the back that you can look at it. Now, these things, the reliquary boxes, are not cheap by any means. It's silver. The average, I have one cross that I bought, right? The cross that I bought for myself, I got it on a deal, and it was $1,000. This is going to be significantly more. So if you're wondering how much it's going to cost, I don't know exactly yet. I do know it will be a few $1,000s, to say the least. So if you are interested in donating to that, we're going to have some type of prayer list for those who donate towards it, so that we can do a special service in the relics to ask for the blessings for those who have created this beautiful reliquary for St. Athanasios. So keep that in mind. If you have you know, the urge to help with this, please see me directly or contact the main office. I don't have anybody else in charge of donations, so just come talk to me directly, send me an email, call the office. But I know this is an extraordinary thing, and how appropriate that on the 50th anniversary, when we do the procession, and we go out with a procession, that we have St. Athanasios' relics there in the procession, to be out in front, to be present every year from here on out, that we have his beautiful relics there. And who knows, as I had you a few weeks ago write down miracles of things that happened to you in the church, and extraordinary miracles that you will learn of as time comes on, as we get closer to the 50th. But who knows how many more miracles we will have with this beautiful saint and these relics present and available for you. And available for you when you have a bad day, and when you have a bad week, And when you're suffering or whatever, you could come forward and venerate the relics of St. Athanasios and say, yes, St. Athanasios, I'm here to help. Please help me. And that is such a beautiful thing. And for those who have been in churches with multiple relics, it's a great blessing. And for those who have been in churches that have the patron saint relics, that is an extraordinary gift. And it's always gifted. It's always processed. It's never delivered. It's handed as the gift from one clergy to another. It goes from the hand to the hand. So it will be delivered here in January, just in time for our 50th anniversary and the feast day of St. Athanasios. I encourage you to share this beautiful news with all those in your family, and like I said, it will be an extraordinary thing for our church. And I'm happy in many ways. I'm happy for the church itself to have his relics. I'm happy for you to have his relics. I'm happy for me, and I'm looking forward to having the physical presence in addition to the spiritual presence of St. Athanasios with us for the many years to come. Amen.